Okay guys, so recently I have reviewed quite a few well-tuned IEMs, and this KZ EDA is no exception. It's a well-tuned IEM, and kudos to KZ. They have improved their tuning in my opinion, and this is my review of the KZ EDA. Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Ian, and I do mostly unboxing and review videos of audio products. So if you guys are interested in this type of content, do consider to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so that you get notified of my future videos. Okay, so KZEDA, right? So this set of 3 IEMs is retailing for 36 US dollars, right? So for 36 US dollars, you are getting 3 different sets of IEMs. So in my opinion, this is a value set, less than 15 US dollars per set. Okay, so and it's well tuned. The emphasis here is well tuned. So you know, how often you get well tuned IEMs for less than 15 bucks, right? So in my opinion, this is a value set. You can get one of this set and then give the top one to your mother, second one to your brother, and the last one you can keep. That's what I'm gonna do. So let's just go through very quickly the specs of this IEM. The sensitivity is 112, the impedance is 30 ohms, and the frequency response is 20 to 40,000 hertz, and it's a single dynamic driver. Okay, so let's just take a look at the accessories. Just put the IEMs one side. Of course, you get the user guide and the cable, right? So this is the standard cable that nowadays you get this type of single core, single tube type of cable. Very standard cable, which I have quite a few. That's why I've not taken this out. It's an angled 3.5 headphone jack, and then you have here is the Y splitter, and of course if you like to use it with your phone, you can have this option to have the microphone. And then the ear hooks is a standard silicone ear hooks with the QDC connector 2-pin. Okay, so pretty standard affair here. And then you'll get extra tips, right? So already on the IEM you get the M size, so you do get the L size and the small size of the ear tips. So ear tips is the standard KZ Starline ear tips, right? You can see the lines here, and it's kind of a dome shaped type of ear tip, and it's pretty stiff, right? So it's not the really soft type, it's not the really hard type, it's somewhere in the middle, right? And it's somewhat narrow to standard bore type of ear tips. Okay, all right, so let's put this one side and talk about the IEM. So 3 for the price of 1, right? So you got 3 different tuning, and I might say all 3 have great tuning, right? I'll get into the tuning and the sound later on, but 3 different tunings: heavy bass, balanced, and high resolution. Okay, right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you my favorite is the high resolution. Okay, the bassy one is got the gold color, right? All the shells are the same, right? It's just that the faceplate and the inner shell, the color is different for the different tuning. So on this one, you can see the dynamic drivers inside. The nozzle is a narrow bore nozzle, 2-pin connector, and these got this so-called metal chrome plated type of shell. So this is gold plated, and the faceplate is see-through, so you can actually see through the shell itself. The silver one, all right, which is this one, it's got transparent shell, and you can see through the up to the driver itself. So I would say this time round the QC check has improved. I don't see much glue around here, right? So it's just the glue to hold the driver in place. Other than that, I don't see glue that is smeared all over the place, which is a good sign. And of course, I don't see glue being pressed out from the side here, or any residue of the glue on the edges, so that's good. And the last tuning, this one is the green one, so you can see the inner shell is green as well. So this one would be the high resolution tuning. Okay, all the three shells are the same. Okay, so let's talk about the fit and comfort. I would say in terms of fit and comfort, I'll give it maybe a 7 out of 10. The shell is pretty okay. It does fit my ear. It's just that it wobbles a little bit in my ear. So I would change out the tip. Usually I do. The nozzle is a little bit on the longer side, so that's why it doesn't go into my ear canal thoroughly. So it wobbles just that little bit. And once in a while I do need to adjust it a little bit so that it gets back that seal. But other than that, the seal is pretty good. I get about 60% seal, and 60% cutoff of my ambient sound. Right, so fit and comfort, I'm okay. There's no complaints there. Let's talk about the sound. So let's take out my graph and take a look at the graph. Okay, so as you can see, I have already graphed these three IEMs, and just look at the graph. I'm so happy with this tuning. It's no longer a bassy type of tuning. It's balanced, at the most balanced tuning. The bass is not overwhelming. The treble is not over shouty and sibilant. In fact, I don't hear any sibilants out of the three. Right, so none of these are sibilant to me. One of them is a little bit shouty, which I'll point out a little while later, but that's about it. No shoutiness. It's a balanced, nice tuning. Just for context, all right, I'll show you the previous KZ-ZAS, okay, and look at that amount of bass. All right, so look at the amount of bass of the ZAS compared to these three. Okay, so I've got I named it gold, silver, and green, so for easy reference for the color coding. But look at the ZAS. That's how much bass it has, and how very little presence in terms of the treble it has compared to the EDA. Okay, so I'll just turn it off for now. But let's talk about my favorite tuning, which is the green tuning. All right, so this green tuning, let's just remove the Harman and just look at how linear that bass is, right? And this is what I like. I like that linear bass. It's not overwhelming, it's not underpowered, and it's not lacking as well. All right, so sub bass to me on the green tuning is just nice, right? Some people may find it a little bit dry because it affects the treble. So in terms of the sub bass, it's a little bit dry, but for me, I like this type of tuning in terms of the bass, the sub bass. It's not too warm, it's not too light, and not too dry for my taste. All right, because if you look at the Harman target, it's just there. Right, it's just there at the Harman target. I mean, I'm not saying that the Harman target is for everyone. It's just that that's my target. I like Harman target. Okay. So in terms of the sub bass, it's just there. In terms of the rumble, it's extended. The roll off is good. It's got nice note weight. In fact, all three have got good note weight. This one is a little bit dry as compared to the other two. Right, the other two is a little bit warmer. The balance tuning has got almost a perfect type of tone and timbre in terms of the dryness. Right, it's not too dry, not too warm. It's just nice. For this one, which is the green one, the sub bass is fast. Right, it's fast. The extension is good. It's resonant. And mid bass is also just as good. So again, in terms of the mid-bass presence. It's thumpy, it's impactful, but it's not that type of impact whereby, you know, I feel that vibration in my head. I feel just that nice little tap, right? And just looking at that, it's above my target, which is okay. I like this type of impact. I don't want something that's too impactful that it drowns out the mids and it bleeds into the mids. So this type of impact and the slam is just nice for me, right? But if you take a look at the all the other three impacts, they're almost the same except for the gold, right? So the gold has got the most mid-bass impact. So if you take a look at the just comparing, all right, just turn it off. The two, all right, the gold and the green. So these two are the most extreme, right? So if you take a look at the bass here, the sub bass, the gold and the green has got the most variance. Okay, so the impact on the gold one, it's much more than the green one. So sometimes, you know, it's a little bit too impactful for me, but the green one is just nice for me, right? So I like the green tuning. It's pretty linear to my taste. In terms of the mids, right? So the mids, if you take a look at the mids, it's the upper mids, all right, or the lower mids, right? All three are almost the same. It's almost the same. It's just that the gold one has got a little bit more forwardness, and sorry, the green one has got a bit more forwardness in terms of the mids. That's because you get that sensation that the mids are a bit more forward because the bass is not as impactful and not as forward in the entire frequency itself, right? So in terms of the green tuning, which is this one right here, the mids it feels a little bit more forward, right? Instruments, the keyboards, the wind instruments and the string instruments, they sound just nice, not too dry. For some, as I mentioned, it may sound a little bit light, right? But in terms of the tone and the timbre, it's just nice for me, right? It's not too dry, it's not too warm, it's just nice and it's real, all right? Sounds very real in terms of the tone and the timbre, okay? So in terms of the forwardness, instruments, they sound forward and they sound pretty real, and the tone and the timbre and the note weight of it is just nice, okay? For the gold one, right? So the bass does take over the entire frequency here, but it's not that type of overtaking of the frequency whereby you get drowned out by the bass, right? This is not that type of impact that you will expect from something like the ZAS, whereby you hear nothing but the bass. This one you still will get the sense of presence in terms of the mids. So the mids, they do sound a little bit laid back, right? But for the clarity and the tone and the timbre of the instruments, they sound a little bit warmer, right? They sound warmer than the green tuning, which is the high resolution tuning. And I would say this one, you know, not my favorite, all right? So I would prefer to have a little bit less bass, so instruments are a bit more forward. Okay, so let's talk about the vocals. So vocals for all three, I would say it's forward, all right, and it depends on the different tuning as well. Male vocals will sound better on the gold tuning, okay, which is this one. The male vocals will have a stronger and a deeper tone and timbre to it. It's a warmer tone and timbre to it, and sounds more authoritative, right, in the mix. Whereas for the green one, which is this one, male vocals will sound just nice, right? It's not too overpowering, it doesn't sound too light, and it just sounds natural, right? This one, male vocals will sound a bit more smoothing and more easier to listen to, right? This one sounds more natural, okay, to me. For female vocals, definitely, I listen to female vocals more than male vocals, to be honest, right? So this high resolution tuning is more, to me, I like listening to female vocals. So female vocals, they sparkle on this green tuning. They sound bright, okay? So in terms of the treble for all three, let's just go to the treble, right? So treble for all three is almost the same, but as I mentioned, the rest of the frequency here, how they sound and how they are present in the mix will affect how you perceive the treble. So for this one, all three, the treble is just nice to the Harman curve, which is almost what I like, right? There's a peak here, which, you know, some may find it a little bit shouty for female vocals and hi-hats and cymbals, and also clapping, right? So this one here, which is the 8K mark, is almost there, right? But it's not shouty to me, right? I like the brightness of it, the forwardness of the mids, the treble, and it is to my alley, right? I like this type of tuning. Some other IEMs which I can show you. Let's see. Let's take a look at the SK10 Pro, right? So this line here is the SK10 Pro. Just look at the 5K, right, of the treble, and the 8K here, right? So the 5K and this 8K alone, right, it sounds fatiguing to me to listen to. It's so much more than the Harman target, or my Harman target, which I like, right? So in terms of the treble, comparing to the SK10 Pro, this EDA is not as sibilant or shouty and bright as compared to SK10 Pro. A brightness is there, but it sparkles instead of being shouty. Okay. For treble roll-off, it's really good, right? So you can see the roll-off is pretty gradual. It's not a sharp roll-off as compared to some. So in terms of the extension of the treble, the clarity of the treble, all three are really good. Okay, so let's talk about the technicalities of these. Right, so in terms of the soundstage, soundstage is normal, right? I wouldn't want to say that this has great soundstage. Is wide to the side. It's got nice depth. The soundstage is of maybe a living room type of soundstage, or maybe less, a bedroom, right? Female vocals, they do sound intimate, and male vocals as well. So they're more mid-centric in terms of the vocals, and percussions right behind the vocals. So imaging and positioning of the instruments are okay. Separation of instruments are okay as well. It's average, okay. And the layering of the sound and sound separation is also of average, right? So I wouldn't say it's exceptional type of soundstage and imaging on these IEMs, but it's average, okay. Detail retrieval and resolution, again, I would say it's good, right? You can tell some nuances of the sound, like for example the background singers, the instruments, the plucking of the guitars, the strumming of the double bass. You can pick those out, and I would say it's average, right? I wouldn't say it's super clear. The clarity on this is average, and you can actually pick the micro details out as well. Okay, so yeah, for less than $20 per set, I think that's pretty reasonable. Alright, so that concludes my review and my impressions of these set of EDA IEMs from KZ. And I just want to say that KZ has really improved their tuning. I really do enjoy their tuning. It's no longer the V-shaped type of tuning which I'm getting from them. which I used to get from them, but this time is a very nice, well balanced tuning, which I do enjoy, right? I really do enjoy, especially the green one. I really do enjoy listening to this one, and yeah, most of my music is, you know, on this green one. Now, in terms of my recommendations, this 3 IEMs will cover your music track, or most of your music tracks, right? It doesn't matter if you're listening to pop or rock or EDM or techno or even classical, jazz, R&B. You can choose, right? So that's the point of this 3 IEMs. You can actually choose which IEM you want to use to listen to which genre of music. So if you want to listen to more of your techno songs, right? If you're in the mood to dance around, then put on the gold one. If you are more of an analytical mood and you want to listen to more clarity, then the high resolution one. And if you're just listening to your pop songs, you know, your top 40s, then you just go for the silver one. Okay. So yeah, that concludes my review and impression of this KZ EDA. And if you guys learned something from this video, do consider to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Peace.